Good evening and welcome to part 3 of the Poets Corner. This is Micah Joel Toohey at Western Illinois University, broadcasting from WIU in Macomb, Illinois. Welcome to this inaugural program of the Poets Corner, and we have 2 parts down and only 1 part to go. It's going a lot faster than I expected, and I appreciate you allowing me to share my evening with you. As we discuss poetry, one of the beautiful things about reading poets and poetry is it gives you an opportunity to discuss things that you never would really expect to discuss with people. One of my best friends in the world is Christopher Nelson, who is a law student at Northern Illinois University in DeKalb, and one of his favorite writers and poets is George Kenneth Chesterton, G.K. Chesterton, and one of his favorite poems is The Ballad of the White Horse. And in thinking about G.K. Chesterton, who I have been reading of late, a friend of mine came in to my room recently and saw that in one corner of my room I have a number of icons on my wall, religious icons for prayer and such. And one of the icons I have on the wall is the icon of St. George and the Dragon. And he looked at that icon, my friend who came in, looked at that icon for some time and asked me if I believed the legend, if I believed that St. George had fought a dragon. And as far as the legend of St. George goes, I didn't have a specific answer. But I'm reminded of what G.K. Chesterton said, when he said that fairy tales are more than true, not because they just teach that dragons exist, but that dragons can be beaten. Tonight, we read poetry to soothe the savage beast, whether it be ourselves or the beast we fight within, confident that dragons can be overcome. Whatever obstacles we face in life can be overcome by grace. Poetry is truly a grace, and it's truly one of life's beautiful gifts, that if we let ourselves receive it, if we let ourselves receive the beauty of life, we can see perhaps the dragons of our life in the proper perspective, maybe small enough to be trampled underfoot. And even with those difficulties that cannot be swept away through a change of mood or reading poetry, maybe at least it can be that spoonful of sugar that helps the bitter pill of life be more easily swallowed. Thinking about the coming spring and about life that is blooming and so beautiful, I often think of St. Francis. St. Francis is the patron of Western Illinois' Newman Center, and I think of his prayer for peace, and I think of his love of nature. He famously wrote a poem about brother sun and sister moon, and about just the beauty of, he was a man in love with nature. And this leads me to our next poem, not by St. Francis. We will have some poetry by St. Francis, hopefully soon. But I think about Theodora Bach's famous poem, Inebriation. So without further ado, this is the poem Inebriation by Theodora Bach. Inebriation. When the first crocus cracks the moist spring earth, and impish ferns uncoil their furry fronds, it is as if a cloud of tree nymphs smooth the soil where clumsy hoe and rake have sliced it raw, and quickened scented breezes slant mists in silver silent decibels. It is as if, inebriated by the pungency of spring and blinded by the color of wheels of green, I dance in druid fantasy till surfeited with love of earth. I'll never need to rest. Spring has come. That was Inebriation by Theodore Bach. Our next poem shall be The Song of the Creatures by St. Francis of Assisi. It took me a second to find it, so we had a little detour with inebriation. But now, without further ado, in honor of coming spring, The Song of the Creatures by St. Francis of Assisi. O most high, almighty, good Lord God, to thee belong praise, glory, honor, and all blessing. Praise be my Lord God with all his creatures, and especially our brother the sun, who brings us the day and who brings us the light. Fair is he and shines with very great splendor. O Lord, he signifies to us thee. Praise be my Lord for our sister the moon, and for the stars, the which he has set clear and lovely in heaven. Praise be my Lord for our brother the wind, and for air and cloud, calms and all weather, by which thou upholdest life in all creatures. Praise be my Lord for all those who pardon one another, for his love's sake, and all who endure weakness and tribulation. Blessed are they who peaceably shall endure, for thou, O Most Highest, shalt give them a crown. Praise be my Lord for our sister, the death of the body, from which no man escapeth. Woe to him who dieth in mortal sin. Blessed are they who are found walking by thy most holy will, for the second death shall have no power to do them any harm. Praise ye and bless the Lord, and give thanks unto him, and serve him with great humility. That is the Song of the Creatures, St. Francis of Assisi, translated from the Italian by Matthew Arnold. It's been a great privilege to be with you this evening and share poetry with you. I truly hope that this poetry has brought you a sense of peace. I apologize if you were thrown off a little bit by Edgar Allan Poe's The Bells. I can tell you it will keep me up for a few extra minutes tonight. But I really appreciate you being with me for this inaugural issue of the Poets' Corner. As I have been thinking about how to conclude the program this evening, and thinking about everything that I've tried to prepare myself in order to do this program, when it finally came down to it, I kind of threw all my preparation out the window and just started ad-libbing, because I knew that if I was really going to share myself with you this evening, I couldn't share with you myself from a piece of paper, but rather just from my sincere self. And I've tried to do that for you this evening, and I very much appreciate you sharing with me your time, so that we may have this time together, even through the format of a radio or a computer. The final poem for this evening will be a fantasy perspective, a poem meditating on the revelation of St. John of the Divine, the River of Life, clear as crystal. It is also by Theodore Bach. A fantasy perspective. From my polished oak church pew, I listened to the King James text from Revelations on the last things and on all that will be new. Incomprehensible from a church pew perspective. An earthly dinner sated me into Sunday afternoon drowsiness. From my lounge chair, I watched the sugar maple dipping its bared limbs in the autumn topaz, its final summer pleasure before December frost would stiffen them in crystal. Sleepy, acquiescent, drawn in to its gray, scaly trunk and laddering limbs, I thought to float outward and upward into the azure, where eye-stinging facets reflected, like diamond points on the Sea of Cortez, coming to a sea of blinding brilliance with sweeping waves like crystal, and between the mountainous waves a river flowed upward to a great city on a hill, glistening with gold pinnacles, towers, domes, and spires, behind 12 gates of pearl, while bells of unknown symphonies crescendoed as night came to distant earth. That has been the inaugural edition of the Poets Corner. This is Micah Joel Toohey from Western Illinois University, WIU, signing off with you this evening. Peace this evening, good luck, and God bless you.